doing it. Go back to it.
Hello, hello, hello. We are live.
Hey, welcome everybody. Hey, welcome to another Beyond the Sum of Our Parts. Today is going to be me and Jordan today. Our lovely host Reese is taking a little bit of a sabbatical. She'll be coming back to us, hopefully. So today's topic, Jordan, what is today's topic?
We are talking about the green-eyed monster, unveiling jealousy in relationships.
So anybody that's willing to come on and talk about this, please send me a message, send Jordan a message, and we can basically. I think there's also a spot to log in because I have somebody who's also having trouble logging in. It's like they're getting nothing but a blue screen. Or did you find them?
No, I didn't find anybody. It said somebody is trying to log on. Okay. I will put the link in the chat box for people to lean in with us. But other than that, it should be working. I'm not sure what's going on their ends, but oh, there you go. It is up in the chat box, the link.
Okay. So somebody says they're trying to get in now.
I see it now.
Okay, cool.
Hello. Nope, can't hear you though. Gotta love technical difficulties.
So,
No,
like all
still can't
things
hear
comes with
you.
technical difficulties. Like all things come with technical difficulties. So we're having trouble hearing. Not everyone, but just our lovely guest right now.
Yes. Okay. All right. Well, on
Yep,
that note, so
yep.
we are going to be leaning
Okay, I'm
into.
gonna just be 100% candid. This is definitely gonna be something that we're gonna snap up and chop into blooper moments, because for sure we chopping the ball on it today. Not gonna lie, I'm gonna take ownership of this one on me, on everything. Yeah,
It's all good.
we're gonna do that.
We're taking things one moment at a time today.
One
That
moment
that's
at a
what we're
time. We
doing.
gotta like,
Yes.
yeah, we're working on it. We're working on it. This is one of those things that,
Yes.
but anybody who's willing to come on and talk about it, please feel free to hit, click on the link and come on with us and let's talk about it. Uh,
Yes. Let
I
us chit
love
chat.
life experiences. You never you never can control what happens. All you can do is control how you react to
How you
these things when they
respond?
come your way.
Yeah.
So that's one of the fine moments of this lovely little podcast that we do, and embracing the authenticity of like life issues and things of that nature.
Yeah, because as I like to say, life be lifing.
Yeah, life be life, and that's the. I feel like, honestly, I'm not gonna lie. I feel like that's the whole slogan for all of 2024 for me right now. Life is lifing, and I'm
Yes.
drinking it with some some extra. What
I don't know what's happening.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know.
We're just smiling and nodding. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, now everybody's got. All right.
All right. Cool.
Well,
So
I guess we'll dive in.
we're gonna dive in on the green-eyed monster thing. We're gonna dive in on the green-eyed monster
Yes.
thing. So
Yes. So, with that being said, our first question, leaning in. Have you ever experienced jealousy in a relationship? And if so, what did it look like? How did it manifest? What was up? What was happening?
jealousy in a relationship for me. I mean, for me myself, I realized it when it happened to me, and I mean, like me, not that I was receiving jealous. Well, I mean, I have received jealousy from other people, but then I realized, it was like, why am I feeling this type of way? Like,
Mm,
granted, I love and care for this person, but they're not a possession to me. And I shouldn't basically be like, you're my friend or you're my girlfriend. Like, granted though, you
right.
my lady, that's different. That's different. But even
Right.
still though, it's like you gotta have a healthy dynamic to a point where it's like you're with somebody, but you don't own them and they don't own you. You guys
Right.
want to be with each other. This you're not a cell phone, you're not a piece of property. you're two beings coming together to basically collectively join thoughts and in hopes of building a
Co-create.
future
Yeah.
together. Yeah, I mean, some of us is not trying to procreate, but you
I
know what I mean.
said I said co-create, not
Co-create. There you
procreate.
go. Co-create. My
That's
apologies.
another
Yeah,
aspect of
I was
it.
like, not everybody's out here trying
Right.
to. Not everybody's out here
Mm-hmm.
trying to basically
Mm-hmm.
do that kind of thing. You
We're
know what I
not
mean?
making the babies. Okay.
Okay. I see we got somebody on right now.
It's me. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yes.
Perfect. Okay, because my camera's not working. I don't know if it's because of where I am or whatever, but I was trying, y'all.
Well,
Ah,
thank you
hey,
for joining us.
and
Hi. Yes, definitely.
what is your name for our lovely people who may not know, or
Okay,
you
so
want us to call you? What's your screen, your
That's a lot.
Gmail addresses, or
no, it's Aisha.
okay?
Aisha.
Good old Aisha. Yes.
Thank you for joining us,
Thank you,
Aisha,
Aisha, for joining us. I
today.
appreciate it.
Oh, you're welcome. I listen. I was excited when you asked.
Awesome. So, our topic today is the green-eyed monster. And Jordan, what you worded it so elegantly. What was it?
Unveiling jealousy in relationships. So we're talking about jealousy and the likes.
Ooh.
So come on and lean in with us. The first question that I asked Mike was, has he ever experienced jealousy in a relationship and how did that manifest? And so that same question extending it to you, like what did it look like? What did it feel like? Was it you? Was it the other person? All the things.
Oh, this is great. So,
Hmm.
my ex-husband, I experienced that jealousy. And the crazy thing about it was I didn't know it was a jealousy thing.
Mm,
Um because who thinks that the person they're married to is jealous? It just doesn't,
right.
it doesn't make any sense, or it makes you kind of sound like you're a little arrogant, stuck up or something like that. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
So why would your partner be jealous? And it's so many things. In my relationship at the time, the jealousy I think came from was because I knew what I wanted to do with my life as far
Mm,
as my path, and he hadn't quite figured that out yet. So when it came to
oh,
certain things like in my career, and there was promotion and
okay.
elevation, he wasn't as happy as I thought he would be. Cause, with promotion and stuff like that, that's like more money, right?
Mhm.
We would be able to do
Mm,
more, right? So you would think that, but no. And then it was always like negative. So I'm a
mm,
chef. And in that industry, as we know, it's like a male dominant industry.
yeah.
So it's quite, it's a little different now. More women are into it, or more women are being displayed, or whatever. But the reality for me was majority of the commercial kitchens I worked in, it was very few of us women on a hot line, right?
Hmm.
So a lot of my relationships and stuff like that with my fellow colleagues, majority were men because I majority work with men.
Right.
So then I started to notice things like he would get upset with, like in a kitchen that I worked in, we would take lunch before it opened,
Hmm.
right? And I would of course call my husband just, to shoot, just to talk or whatever. And it was like, well, what are you doing? I said, well, I'm at lunch. Who you're at lunch with? And then I
Mm,
would start naming who I was at lunch with, and
right.
then it would become a problem. Why are you eating lunch with them? Like, why do you have to have lunch with them? And it was like, well, the whole kitchen has to have lunch and we have to eat before we open. So that's why. But
Right.
he made it something else. You get what I mean?
Right.
Like, he made it where you're a married woman, you shouldn't have lunch with another man.
Yeah, I've
And
heard a
it
lot
was
of people say that before.
you know
So
what I mean?
strange. Right.
Yeah. So it was like, well, wait a minute. I'm just eating, we didn't go off
Right.
anywhere. We didn't go to a different spot. was like the cafeteria at my job. So it was, I'm going to go to lunch with my coworkers because I get along with my coworkers. And then when it turned into, he would make it something else and I just didn't understand it. And then it would make me question myself.
Mm,
Like, am I doing something wrong? Am I not? And then I would find myself calling him and giving him a play by play of
mm,
everything that I was doing.
So I'm gonna chime in on this right here.
Sure.
I'm gonna chime in on this right here. It's not so much about you, it's more so about the people around you. Now, granted, though, he needed to control that within himself and have confidence in you because he selected you, you selected him, so he needed to be confident in the mutual decision makings of choosing a partner. Because y'all
Right.
married at this point, so it's like, bro, y'all
Right.
married, ain't nobody going anywhere out of here. You feel me?
Right.
However, the insecurity, I can kind of see what an insecurity can shift because it's like when a person like they fine 1 minute, but then it's like you said, you're doing so well, you're excelling, and a person remaining stagnant in where they at, or let alone not knowing where they themselves need to be, not knowing their purpose. Because right about now, a lot of men are just they're cogs in the machine. They don't have an actual purpose
Right.
in the basic purpose that which is out on social media everywhere is a provider and a protector. Now,
right,
once you get somebody who don't need any one of them two things, then you start to question yourself. It's like, mm, mm, mm,
right.
so then it starts to eat away at their ego and their pride. Rather
And
than
then,
have a
then some.
conversation or a healthy dialogue with their partner about it, as a man, they're gonna basically internalize it, and then they're just gonna be like, well, she's out here at work with other people, so she probably entertaining other people. Versus like, yo, bro, it's your own insecurities. Be comfortable within yourself. It's okay for your partner to basically be doing better than you. It doesn't take anything from you. It's just that they found their niche. They worked so hard at the one particular skill that they have. Versus
Mm,
us men, we had to get into it, whatever it was, to make money, to get a certain status, to basically look appealing
Right.
to women, and all of those things. So you were just operating on autopilot. These are not and I'm gonna say this 100. Very few men, and like very few men actually have a full on passion for what they do. They just doing it because
mm.
it's a check.
Check the box. Yeah.
It's a
Yeah.
good money. And where women are succeeding and excelling is that they doing things that make them happy. Like
They're
Right.
passionate
sister that
about.
love to
Yeah.
do hair and makeup, she making that into a business. A woman that loves to cook and bake, she making that into a business. A
Right.
man that's not a contractor who ain't got no hands and skills like that, very few of them lack the confidence in themselves to basically say, let me venture out and do this myself. And then also it's like, do I even want to do this anymore? So they're left in that world, and it's not fair for him to basically internalize his own insecurities onto you. But I can
Right.
understand. But I'm just telling you, this is the whole process of it. I don't think it was good at all, and the whole like having lunch with other people, and then again, like you said, you excelling, and as you excelling, he's starting it's like, who made a song? Somebody made a song about you're beautiful and I don't want nobody to have you because you're so beautiful, you're so perfect, and I
Mm,
don't want anybody to see what I see in you.
right.
Right.
Well, it's a great song, I love the melody of it all, but it's extremely toxic.
Yeah, because
Right.
it
Right. Right.
comes back
Right.
to I'm afraid of losing you, so I'm just gonna
Right.
It's
hoard
extreme.
you.
Like it's
Yeah.
catering it. I think it was like I think it's either French Montana or somebody. They
Yeah,
got
but
another,
those are honest thoughts though. Those
Yeah.
are like real
Hmm.
live
Hmm.
like thoughts.
you
And
know what I'm
it
saying?
Right.
whether
Right.
And
it's
it's okay to
toxic or right, whether it's toxic or not, it is. It's like if we have these conversations and you're able to express, okay, I feel this way. This way may not be a good way to feel, but I think if we were a little more open in those thoughts and people, I guess, I don't want to say understanding, but it's just
Yeah.
like we have to be honest. We do. We have these private thoughts that we keep private because let's just be honest, they don't sound so good when you say them out loud, right? But we have all of these thoughts. And I thought about that within my marriage. A matter of fact, because we had marriage counseling and something, he said something along of what you said. He said
Hmm.
the same thing that Michael said. He was like, it's hard because men are here to provide and protect. They don't have the
Right.
space to figure out a dream. They don't have the
Right.
space to like, you know what I mean? Because we do as society, we put pressure on them. If a man ain't paying bills, if he ain't taking care of the house, if he ain't
Mm-hmm.
doing this, he's not a man. So then there goes that pressure of, I just got to go out here and get a job and make it happen.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
While, like he said, a woman, if she likes to bake or do hair, turn that into a business, have the
Right.
opportunity and space to do that. And I'll be real, we can go another notch. I can be real and say a lot of men, good providers, they provide a space where we can do that. You know
Right.
what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Because as women, we don't have that pressure. You get what I'm saying? It's a
Right.
big difference, and I can say this. It's a big difference. A man don't have that room and that space to figure it out because we'll tend to say, oh, he's lazy. Oh, he's not a provider, or he's not doing what he's supposed to. While some of us women who have had trial and error to figure some shit out,
Right.
mess it up, do it again because we do have somebody that supports or finance it.
Right. We have that safe space to fall back on.
Right. As
Mm-hmm.
versus where men, I'm gonna just be honest, men don't have that same safe
Not
space,
even a
but
little bit.
not and you're absolutely right. Not even a tiny bit. A man cannot afford to do that because if once things are not being taken care of, guess who gets looked at first? The
Right.
man not being a provider. The man not doing everything that he can to
Right.
provide because this shouldn't happen because society has allowed that to happen. So again, where the jealousy and all of that, I used to see in my marriage where it used to be weird because I felt empathy and then also I would get angry because
Mm.
I felt like, okay, I'm not that woman. You have that safe space to figure it out because I made more money than my ex-husband at that time.
Right.
And that was another thing that was a problem too because he was such a he had a lot of male chauvinistic ways and things of that
Mm.
nature, very old school kind of thing, which made it worse. And it was almost like, you know, once friends, we were like kind of becoming like, well, we became enemies
Mm.
because in one moment it was like, I'm doing all of these things, you should be happy and support, and then I would try to make him feel a part, overcompensate. So if I had
Right.
to leave for a work trip, you want to come, I would always try to include him and get very angry when he didn't want to be a part and didn't have any understanding. And then on the other hand, I felt bad because of the space that he was in where he felt like, I don't know what I want to do. I don't know where I want to go or whatever. Why would he want to be around a group of people who are talking about career paths and things they want to
Right.
do, businesses they want to open? Like me and my ex-husband got into a straight argument about a dream I had, a goal of me having a house on the beach. I knew then
Right.
when we had that argument, I knew my marriage was over.
But then that comes back to, and it's very profound for you in that awareness because it really all comes back to a place of insecurity for him. Like,
Right.
yes, while you're making these meaningful gestures, inviting him to come with you to these places, but for him it's literally a reminder of his insecurities, of what he doesn't have,
Right.
being around all the things and the people that are in these places and spaces that he's not in. And so while it's nice, yes, let me include you, but at the same time, to him it feels very demasculinizing,
I
right?
can say
Right.
I'm
I can
traveling
agree.
on my partner's dime and following her and doing all the things she wants to do, and what am I providing, how am I supporting, how am I showing up for her, like all of the things. And so I completely understand both sides, both perspectives, right? I want to include you in my life, I want you to be happy for me, with me, but then at the same time him working through his own insecurities, which is unfortunate, and bringing up the question for him, am I good enough?
And
Right.
What do I have to offer her?
Right. And it was, and I was going to marriage counsel. Um,
hey, Aisha, I'm not cutting you off or whatever.
Nope,
And there we
she's
go. You
fine.
got cut off. Yeah, she got cut off.
Yeah.
No, but to talk about what she was saying and what Jordan is saying, it's very true. It's like once you're in that headspace, and it's like while even NFL players and basketball players, most of them don't even have a backup plan because that's all they was focusing on is getting that title in that position, and then to try to come back and hey, you're back. Wanted to let you know you was getting cut off, so we wasn't catching anything, but then you just got cut off altogether.
oh, okay. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you. We
Okay.
can hear you. What I was saying to Jordan is like you guys are absolutely right, and it's like even when you think about well, like NFL players and basketball players, even in that same situation, it's like they honed the skill, but now it's like you can't do it anymore. So what's your backup plan? Is
Right.
you
What
still gonna
now?
be like you know what I mean? And then while it takes a lot of people to get, it takes a lot of work within yourself to understand that a woman's success shouldn't be an indictment on you as a person and an individual. You should celebrate them just like they would celebrate you. And like while everybody wants an old school traditional man, let's be real, all of that was toxic for the men and the women back then. Everybody would say
Yep,
like
it
women,
was.
everybody, everybody would say that men live longer with married women and married women suffer. And then you switch it back and forth. It's like where married women die sooner because they're so busy trying to please
Take care of
somebody
their
who isn't
man.
fully happy. And
Mm-hmm.
then when you get and then in the same situation, you get it's happy wife, happy life. He's completely miserable. He's gonna
Right.
go find happiness somewhere else outside of his marriage. And so you just got so while I understand some of the things from the past were so quote unquote good or whatever, it was just completely toxic for everybody in its atmosphere, even the children. And this is where we got a generation of people they not
Right.
happy with their partner, or you got a generation of men just basically doing what you got to do to provide and protect.
Right.
It don't matter what it doesn't happiness doesn't matter as a man as long as you can provide and protect you. Whether you've been at the fucking this call center job for 12, 15 years, stable. That's it. What are your dreams? I don't really have any. As long as my bills are taken care of and I'm able to go here and I'm able to go there. That's not the that's what a man's that's what a whole man's thing is. And it's very sad, like you said. You felt sad and
Yeah.
then you also felt angry because and you valid on that. And the jealousy aspect of it is we all touching base on it right now. And it is a very sad and
True.
scary thing for it to be that way. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's
Right.
very. You want to hear something funny? My newer relationship. I'm in a new relation. Well, it's not new anymore, but my relationship after my ex-husband is very, 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 very different. You know what I mean? Um, and and it was so funny because even in my last marriage, my what I took away, because I don't blame. Honestly, it was because if I'm going to be real with myself, there were signs that I knew that, hey, we might shouldn't have done this, but because both of us was looking
Hmm.
for something so different, we chose something that we thought was different. And I'm not going to necessarily say was, what we thought was good, but we weren't good for each other.
Right.
You get what I mean? So
Right.
it was like in my new relationship, I asked one day, we were just having a conversation, and I was like what's, and I don't know what made me ask. Well, I know what made me ask this because I talked about my dreams with my ex-husband, but I'll be honest, I don't remember ever asking him what was his
Mm.
dream, like what it is, like what's your heart's desire. You know
Right.
what I mean? Like what would make you happy? And I felt like, dang, Aisha, like that's selfish. You get what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
That's very, very selfish because, like you said, as a man already having this type of pressure, like I'm telling this man all what I want, my expectations, and I'm not expecting for him
Right.
to provide it necessarily, but I'm asking him basically in so many words, I had to look at it like this. I'm telling this man everything that I want, and I'm willing to do it, but just come along for the ride, not asking,
Right.
okay, what it is that you want, what it is that you want out of this. I
Right.
never thought about that. I never took the time to do anything to even to think about that. But
Mm.
I did get angry quicker than I got angry with some of his actions before I even tried to understand anything, because I'll just be honest, it was a selfish behavior. Whether it was intentional, unintentional, it was selfish.
Mm.
And I didn't realize that. So when you have someone who is struggling with those type of feelings, and then you
Mm.
have a person like myself who has figured it out, you know what I mean? And
Right.
because, and like I said, I meant well, it was nothing malicious, but it didn't mean that it wasn't selfish. You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So I never took the time to, like, dang, babe, what would make you happy? Because
Mm.
I just assume that you happy because you married me, and because I'm doing good, and if we're making money, you should be happy, right? That makes
Right.
sense. We're not struggling, we're not whatever. You should be happy. But no, he wasn't happy, and for me to assume that he should have been happy with
Right.
what we had because of what I was doing, that was selfish and that was crazy. So when you go on to continue that, and him being in a place where he is unsure, yeah, all I did, what I thought I was trying to do was, what's the word that I'm looking for? I thought I was, being caring and loving and whatever. And I thought I was helping his insecurities. Maybe if I call him more, maybe if I invite him, maybe if I include him
Mm-hmm.
more, which honestly, it made it worse.
Yeah.
It made it worse because we're not dealing with the root of the problem. We're
Yeah.
pacifying, we're actually enabling a behavior that's going to eventually be very, very toxic, which, and, which is the reason why he is my ex husband. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
Right.
it was like one of those things where, you know, it was just adding fuel to the fire and I didn't know it. And that was the selfishness of part of it, because it's like you should be happy because, and I'll just be transparent. I have 6 children and my ex-husband had 5. So together
Ooh.
we had 11. Okay?
Oof.
I was already living in a house. He was living in an apartment, of course. And I felt like, okay, let us all move in. Everything is ours. Even though I had this house before him or whatever,
Wow.
I was raised as, once we don't join together, it's ours. So I never did the my thing. I never did that. I was raised, in a 2-parent home, and I never seen my mom or my parents throw anything in anybody's faces. It was just whatever had to be done for the family, that's what it was. And if my husband was short, that means I was short. You know what I mean? So I thought that behavior should have made him feel like, dang, she got me, or, like, this is good because I felt like that part of my marriage, I didn't have that type of toxic behavior of what I saw with other people that we both knew. I never
If I
told my
can
husband. Mhm.
if I can chime in for a second, one of the things that really stood out about what you said is really your husband was coming into your already established life. You already
Right.
had so many kids, you already had this place, you already had all of these things, the system set up around you. And I could imagine him coming into it, and you having this high paying job and being successful, and him coming into it and being like, what, again, like I said before, what is it that I have to offer her? What am I
Right.
contributing to this
Right.
relationship?
Right. That's true. And I didn't think of it like that. I did not. I felt like, okay, you should be happy, not like
Right.
I'm giving you something, but this is something that, what I mean, this is one of those things we don't have to like struggle, or because it's already here, and it's here for you, and it's here
Right.
for your kids or whatever. But as a man, he didn't provide that, and I didn't know
Right.
that it messed with him like that.
Right.
You know what I
So
mean?
Now the
one of the
And
question.
go ahead. Go ahead.
mhm.
No, what I was gonna say, and the question is to that. Now, since the topic is on the green eye of jealousy, now, granted, those things are definitely gonna make somebody jealous, and internally, externally, people in the relationship, people outside the relationship. However, seeds are gonna be sown in, seeds are gonna be dropped in this little pot here. So, with that being something that's actually done in your dynamic situation, what would have been the best solution to for a guy coming into somewhat similar situation and a female being in that? Because what I'm hearing a lot, because I'm still single, right? And
Is that your plug?
yeah, you know what I'm saying? I've been around quite a few times, and it's like the one thing I usually did put out there that I did like is that only one woman that I've ever been with has ever asked me what my dream is.
Mhm.
Ever. Been single for a long time. Only one woman has ever asked me what my dream is. They were
Mm,
infatuated with me. They loved me. They love my personality. They love my character.
Mhm.
Compliments out the yin yang. But never, not one time did anybody ask me what am I passionate about? What is my dream? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then
right.
the one person that did do it, you know what I'm saying? That person made it to, like, she was the first relationship I ever had that it lasted a full on year. You know what I mean? First one,
Right.
because the conversation we had was fluidity. It flowed. You know what I mean? There was, and to this day, we still cool, no love lost whatsoever, right?
Right.
But it was like when people are saying, "Oh, you need to settle down," I'm not settling for nothing. I'm looking for my person, right? But
Right.
how I used to said it is like, even though you got your own stuff, if I come into your spot, my mentality is already this is your spot. I'm just contributing, right?
Right. As a man,
But me,
yeah.
I ain't gonna be, yeah, me as a, like me, but me, I had to, and these are all training things for me being single for a long time, right? So I'm learning. And so it was like I can't take her success as an indictment on me. I can't take
Mhm.
her happiness
Mhm.
as, a diss to me. She's happy, she's found her place. Have I been jealous of women that have found their place? They know their passion, they have their niches. Absolutely, because I wanted that so bad. And
Mm.
I'm
Yeah.
41 and I'm still trying to find my purpose. And I think this podcast is it though. But you know what I mean? But I'm still trying to find my purpose. I'm still trying to find my place in this world and my purpose. And it's like
Yeah.
it's a journey. And then when you look at social media and everybody let everybody tell you you should be wherever you should be at whatever age. But it's like for most men, that's when that peer pressure comes into play. Where damn your dreams, damn your aspirations and goals. You got a family
Make
now.
money. Just
You got to
provide.
get
Yeah.
this money. You got to protect and provide. And if you can't do those two things, what are you?
Yeah.
And the
Right. Yeah.
question, and then at the end of, and like Jordan, you was in a situation where a person was like, "Yo, I'm a provider and a protector. That's it. Don't
That's
talk to
all I
me
have
about
to
nothing.
offer.
Don't have a communication with me about nothing. Like you need money, I got it. Other than that, don't talk to me about nothing.
Yeah. If you have a problem, I'll solve it. If you need money, I got you. You have a
Right.
house. I have a job. That's all that I have to offer you. I can't emotionally,
Right.
spiritually. That's it.
And
But that's
and you
because
know
that's
what?
what men are taught.
That's
Go ahead.
the only thing they are taught. They're not taught to have a dream, or, and I even had to find this. I have three sons. You get what I'm saying? I have three sons, and this is a perfect. I was my baby boy. I'll be honest with you, super frustrated because I felt like, when it came to school and certain things, super smart, he excelled, but he never wanted to like participate in like what I thought high school kids and everybody, was doing, because what
Right.
I was used to doing, right? As a guy. And one day my son because I was so frustrated with him, just, I called it a nonchalant. I felt like he didn't know, like, a goal, or he didn't know a purpose, and I didn't expect him to know his purpose, but I felt like, okay, you're not trying to figure out a purpose. I'll say that. And I got
Right.
so frustrated with him one day, and he told me, he was like, "Mom, you gotta chill." He was like, "You're like doing way too much." He goes, "I'm sorry." He goes, "I'm doing school because yes, it's a requirement, and I know that I got to go out here and get an education, but I don't love it. I don't want to go to college." I didn't know at the time my son had written so many songs, produced so many beats,
Wow.
and it's not because he didn't say that. I didn't take it serious. I'm gonna be honest with you. I one of my ex was in the music industry, and he's a producer for Def Jam, and he's successful. But I also knew the road, and I knew the industry, and I know like the up and down. I just knew all the logistics of it, and it was like absolutely not. He is doing. He's not taking that serious. He'll
Right.
be on to something else. But as a man, my son was so frustrated with me because he was like, "You don't even know." Like, I mean, I had to shut my mouth when my son pulled out books, and not one, not two. Like, I was like, I didn't even know if my son never recorded anything new to this day, he would have albums for days. That's how much he used to write and compose, and not just words,
Mm-hmm.
beats and music. I was so ashamed of myself
Mm-hmm.
because my son was telling me his dream, and because I felt like it wasn't
It
fitting to
wasn't
what I
enough.
thought, I
Mm-hmm.
discarded that. And I probably unintentionally discarded my ex-husband's feelings as well because I was so frustrated because I felt like him figuring out his purpose or whatever, it didn't look the way that I thought it would look. And I
Mm-hmm.
was comparing it to me.
And that's part of parenting, that a lot of people don't understand is like, as a parent, our job isn't to live vicariously through our children.
No.
Our job is to provide a safe space for them to trial and error, whatever that is. And for
Yep.
masculine beings specifically, in order for them to find their passion, their purpose, they have to do those things. They have to
Yep.
get involved, hands on. It's not just like feminine energy. It's like, oh, I had this dream, or I had this vision in my head, or I saw it, or I felt it. Masculine, they
Right.
have to experience it. They have to physically do it and be like, yes, I like this, or no, I don't like this. And our
Right.
schools aren't created to cultivate that anymore. They used to
Nope.
have all the hands-on stuff in schools, and now I think it's just art and music and
Yep.
PE.
It
I
is.
think all the other
Yep.
stuff has pretty much fallen to the wayside. So for males, they don't really have an opportunity in a safe space to learn what it is that lights me up,
Right. And
and
that's
that is
true. And
unfortunate.
then it is. And then we grow up now, we have adults in relationships who are secretly
Unhappy.
competing with each other.
Unhappy.
And not
Competition.
just,
Yep.
yeah, not only unhappy, but I kid you not, I'm not going to lie. I have, and because, when you get older, you make mistakes, you get wise. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not going to lie. I'll be 46 this year. My thought process 10 years ago is very, very different. My thought process 20 years ago is very, very different.
Right.
So the reality of it is that I see so many relationships where they are competing with each other. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like I
Mm-hmm.
have like, oh, if the boyfriend goes out and buys this one car or does whatever, I literally see a
Yeah.
girl
Yeah.
trying to do the same thing, getting
Mm-hmm.
themselves in debt just to be like, nope, I got the bag, or I'm the one who can do,
Right.
or I'm the one who can give the
Right.
bigger gift. The gift
Right.
giving isn't about you're worth this because you mean so much to me. Let me just trip you up on, this, I did my big one. It's not about I bought this because I felt like you deserve it. I love you
Right.
or
Right.
whatever. Let me get this because I'm going to trump that ring that you bought me or that bag that you bought me.
Unfortunately, I'm not gonna lie. I
Yeah.
still, while I am healing, working on
Uh-huh.
myself. I can't even say the word. Like I want to say it, but it's just like
Healing.
ick to me. It's ick to me. It's ick to me. I'm working on myself, and I ain't going front. That's one of the things there too that I do, and I know it ain't just me. It's like, oh, she got me this. How much she spent on it? I bet she spent two.
Aye.
I'm dropping five. Screw that. You ain't finna
Right,
outdo me. And it's just like,
right.
why? What? Where is this coming from? Why are you doing this? It's not that deep. But again, we programmed to be that way. Yo, for a long time,
Yeah.
receiving gifts from a female was like, I was like, what do you like? It's unhealthy.
What are you
It's an unhealthy
doing?
way of thinking. It's
Yeah.
like, why are you buying me stuff? I'm not okay with this. Why are you
Right.
buying me
And
stuff?
then some men men who are not used to a woman like I said in my
Yeah.
in this last relationship, what makes it very, very different was, and I remember the first time I asked him, I was like, dang, what's your dream? And he was like, dang, nobody ever asked me that. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
And that made him the happiest person on the planet.
Yeah.
Now, for me, I'm like, okay, you're doing too much. But when he explained it, he was like, nah, when you're always the one who has to provide, or you're the one who
Yeah.
has to make other people's dreams come true, you don't have time to think about what is
That
my
part.
dream. You get what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? You don't have
Mm-hmm.
time to think about certain things. And then learning my mistakes in the last one, it made me pay attention to certain
Right.
behaviors. And I'll be honest, it made me move a little different. So it was like, okay. And then when he finally did, it took him almost 2 weeks to give me an answer, because he was like, I kid you not, I've never really like thought about it.
Right.
And then he also, when you start asking those questions, the person like myself, you really turn on that you're really thinking about him. Like, damn, what is his dream? So then I start paying attention to
Right.
him in different
Mm-hmm.
areas, right?
Right. And how can
Because
you support
at,
him?
right, and as women, we're natural nurturers. They call it the woman's intuition or whatever, and maybe that's because the nurturing thing in us. Then we start to notice things and certain things that they do. So then I start to pay attention. Oh, this is where he's strong at. This is what it is, or whatever. So then, and I didn't notice this until he told me. He would come up with an idea and he would say things like, yeah, it's an idea. I know it's crazy, but it ain't nothing. And I would have to be like, no, what do you
Mm.
mean? It is
Yeah.
everything. What are you talking about? Here goes
Yep.
this. You should do this to make this happen, right?
Right.
And then you know what you do? You build a person. So then he gets the confidence.
Yes.
Damn, let me try it because she said I could do it.
What you run into. So the crazy thing is how you said it. You got the parents raising the men to basically be, no, you got to do this, got to do that, right? And then you come into
Yeah,
a world where you don't know yourself, you're not happy. Then you get in a relationship with somebody. I've had somebody say this: "You're a grown ass man. You should figure it out. It's not my job. It's not my job.
yep,
You should figure it out." I'm
yep,
just like,
yep. Matter of fact,
gotcha.
I heard it recently. I've heard it recently.
Goodbye.
Yeah,
Goodbye.
I.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep,
Because it's like it's 100%. So as long as I do everything for you and make you happy, I gotta figure it out myself though. I gotta figure
Mm-hmm.
me out
Mm-hmm.
what makes me
I
happy
support you.
myself.
You support you.
So I support you, but there's no okay, I got it.
Mm-hmm.
You may have a good day. I've had that said to me, and I was just
right.
like, and I've heard some women say that too about their relationships too, and I'm just like, but
He helped
like
you figure
everybody's
it
coming,
out.
yeah, everybody's coming from trauma. So it's like if you really want to be with somebody, you learn their trauma, you learn and you try to you try to understand them and help them. But oh, you're a grown ass man, you should figure it out. A lot of men ain't dealing with their trauma the way they supposed to. They ain't had the
Mm-hmm.
skills.
No.
They haven't been taught to basically express themselves. Like we're in an era now where we're actually going into counseling. We're actually talking about our
Right.
feelings. We're expressing ourselves.
Yeah,
And it's a new thing for us and it makes it uncomfortable because now it's like, ugh, ugh. And
because
this is
you're trying to
again,
retrain your thought process. Your whole
retrain your
entire
body.
life.
It's like nails on a chalkboard
Yeah,
when you try to unchange that. And to everybody, it's like, nah, it don't feel right. You know why it doesn't feel right? It's because you're evolving from a toxic place.
It's uncomfortable.
exactly.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
When
It
you
is
get that,
it's very uncomfortable when you've been told, man. Matter of fact, I saw a post today. I kid you not, and it was from, I think it was K Michelle. She said, and this is what her post says: if a man cries in front of me, I feel like I am not safe and protected. And I was saying to myself, but
Ah.
why?
No,
Because she says she feels when she sees that, now she got to be the man and she got to be the strong one.
No,
Not
then you have to be
because,
the nurturer. When your children cry, what do you treat them like
what do
you're the
you
nah,
delivery
do?
man?
no, but she's
Right.
probably, but she's probably that one that tells the little boy, "Don't cry, be a man, don't cry."
Exactly.
And then you
Be a
expect him to get into
man.
a relationship with a female who's emotional, who cries, and you want him to be attentive to her. I wasn't
And
built that
that
way.
is
I don't. I'm
why
not here for you on that.
we have these jealousy situations because there's insecurity
Bingo.
and there's a lack of
Bingo.
trust and a lack of safety and a lack of all of these fundamental things that are needed for a relationship. And so, yes, I'm going to be insecure because I can't even be myself in this space. Like,
Right.
it
Right.
just, and it's just mind blowing. And you brought up two different types of jealousy, not just romantic jealousy, like, oh, you're talking to this man or you're talking to this woman, but also like a professional jealousy in
Mhm.
terms
Yeah.
of not having a passion or a purpose or feeling like I'm not doing or being enough. And so then the question that I have for all of us, do you feel like there is a healthy sense of jealousy?
Yeah,
Is there
I do.
ever a
I
space
do.
where jealousy is
No,
healthy?
because I feel like in a relationship aspect, healthy sense of jealousy. This is how I look at it. Yeah, I mean, healthy is like, oh, you notice somebody's flirting with her. All right, cool. Out. I'm feeling some type of way, but I got somebody that other people want. I should take pride in that. You feel
Right.
me?
So self awareness.
That self awareness, that's healthy, right? Career goal wise, I'm jealousy. Process it. When you're processing your stuff and you understand where the root of it comes from, that's healthy. When you just
Yeah.
like you just jealous, hands flying out the way like a toddler, you don't care, you just throwing down tantrums and stuff, unhealthy. Healthy is processing. Wow, she's making this much money. She's making more money than me. All right, cool. And support her and just continue to do you, whatever that may be.
Right.
Now it's not like, oh, she's making more money than me. Now I gotta top that. Nah, it's not like, oh, she's getting all these promotions and accolades. She's got all of these things going on. Now I gotta do it too. No, it's like that's her. That's her journey. Support her journey. When yours comes, yours comes. If yours doesn't come to that level, it's okay. Be happy within yourself. But it's like you can't be that, and especially in the man's work, because we're always competing with each other in
Mm.
athletic sports wise. But then also when you're not competing with them, it's like, shut up, man, stop being a female, be a man. So it's
But
like,
you know what? You said something, Michael, that is key to everything, and it's the root of everything. When you said when that's why two broken people can never work in a relationship.
no,
You have to be when you're trying if you're looking for love and you're looking for somebody like your person, you know what I mean? And you're ready to settle down, whether, some people don't believe in marriage, but if you're looking to be monogamous and have that one person, one freaking thing that has to be, you have to be whole as a person.
Mm.
Whatever that is for yourself, you have to be really good with yourself because what I've learned in a relationship, I didn't look for, what we're compatible at. What I start looking at, those things that I don't necessarily like about you, can I live with those? Because
Yes.
everybody has, I call it your little fucking demon, okay? Everybody got a little demon side. I don't care what it is, like whatever everybody got that little thing, that little
yeah.
spunk about them. I don't care what anybody say. You do. Everybody has that.
Hey,
Can
so
I? Mhm.
no, go ahead. No, what you're saying is I'm gonna tag on that. I tell Jordan this all the time, and you can go back to any of our podcasts. Trust and believe what they show you is who they are. You have to accept that. And the one thing I've noticed with a lot of women is they go in, I'ma change him.
Mm,
I'm a
mm,
no,
Right.
baby. What you
Oh,
see is what you get. You gotta ask
right.
yourself: is you gonna still love this man, be with this person the same way
yeah.
as they are right now? If they change, it's a blessing. It's a icing on the cake. But if they do not, are you still going to feel the
Can
same
you
way
live
for
with
them?
this?
Are you still
Mm-hmm.
going to live with that? You got to ask
Right.
yourself, Can you live with this for the umpteen amount of years that you see yourself being with this person? And if the answer is nah, I gotta fix it, you need to let it go. You need to let it go. Because there ain't no
Right.
fixing people. You don't come into a
Nope.
relationship fixing people. You accept them
You
for who
can't
they
fix
are.
nobody.
Exactly. Y'all grow together or you grow apart. And that's a given. But trust anybody. For DMX said it best. Trust in a person to be themselves, but trust that you can see them well. You know what I'm saying? And that's the reality.
Exactly. That is the reality. And listen, I'm the poster child for it. I'm not gonna lie. I used to listen. I thought I could change a man. I thought, oh my God, because I do this, he'll do this. I really did. And the reality of that is that no, sis, you can't change anything.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
You work on yourself, but that
Yeah.
person is going to be that person always. Can you live with that ugly part of the person that you're not going to like? Because of course we can get along when everything is gravy. Of course we'll get along when money is.
Oh, dang. Well, she was saying we can get along when everything is good, but when it's not good, can we still vibe? Can we still rock?
Right.
Is the whole
Right.
thing. And that's the whole thing about this green eye of jealousy. Because I was gonna say before, like I felt, and she basically broke it down. I felt those kind of moments of jealousy of a female getting all those accolades and doing all these things, like women that are going to school now getting more degrees than men, this, that, and the third. And at the end of the day, a man is like, I don't even know what I want a degree in for. I didn't really go to college because I'm like, I'm not gonna spend money on something that I ain't even passionate about. That's a whole debt for something I don't even like to do. I'm still paying student loans debt for a job I no longer do anymore. That's a waste of money for me. I'm not doing it again. No, no. You know what I'm saying? But as men, we're stuck in that world. And so the green eye jealousy comes in. Now, where I ever see jealousy in women is like 1 minute you're cool, you like me, you accept me for my character, but then it's like, why are you talking to this broad? Why are you texting her? Why are you liking these pictures? Well, I'm like, wait a minute, what's going on here?
Yeah.
What's going on here? I'm with you, right? I'm here right now in bed with you. What what are you worried about? Something
And
I looked
but
at 3 weeks
we
ago.
know that that comes back to insecurity, whether it's
Yeah.
because of something that happened in their past. I was in a relationship and it was infidelity, and now I don't trust. I think because you're communicating with these other people that you got your hands in all these pots, versus I am confident in myself and my position in this relationship, and you could talk to whoever you want because I know at the end of the day you are coming back here.
Yo, and it's like telling people, and for people to understand and grasp that is a very hard thing. They say, nah, you crazy. That's not normal. Let's be honest, people. What we consider to be normal is toxic. What we consider to be normal
Mm,
is us trying to maintain the status quo and expecting what they say. The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting
right.
different results. And this is what we're doing when we say it's not normal. What we've all been experiencing dating wise, relationship wise, is not normal. It's not supposed to be okay like that. To basically have all of these insecurities and doubts about somebody. I had a friend of mine who was like, oh, well, when you say these things, you're going to drive them to go be with somebody else. I'm like, bro, if that's the case, that's who they are. I'm going to be
Right.
myself no matter what. You either gonna love me for it, still rock with me for it. What I'm not gonna do is be this nice, jolly old guy all the way through and through, and then I marry you, and then all of a sudden you get a different side of me that you're like, oh my God, I didn't see this happening. No,
Right.
you
Pretending.
need to know what you're getting into up front. And what I go back to saying is that everybody wants to be lied to, because the truth ain't where it's at. How she said about K Michelle, she's like, if a man cries in front of me, I now I feel like you got to be the masculine one. So I'm like, all right, cool. So what you're saying is he needs to find somebody else that he can express that side to. Now, if you're okay in a polydynamic situation and having him having a side piece, have at it.
But then that adds a whole new level to it because him crying in front of you is saying I feel safe enough in this space to be myself, to be authentic, to let it all out, right? You aren't accepting of that, so now you're telling him she's back. Hello, you're back. Hello.
Oh, can you hear me? You guys went
Yeah.
out again. Okay,
Yeah.
perfect.
So now you're telling him, I'm not going to hold space for you and your vulnerability. Go find somebody else. But then once he
Yeah.
finds somebody else, then it's going to be like, oh, well, how come you're telling this person all your stuff? And how come you're not sharing it with me? there's always going to be like this level of underlying insecurity because the
Yep.
issue is not that person. The issue is within the original person. There is some insecurity, some trauma, something within you that you're not addressing. And instead of addressing it, you're pushing people away.
I got family and friends that tell me that, yo, the way you move in relationships, dog, is not normal. I'm like, bro, that's because we've
Yeah.
been operating under toxicity for so long. It's not easy for me to make this journey and to be in a different path that I'm on right now. But I'd rather be on this path solo than to take somebody down and then to remain in that same style of dating and courting with
Right.
people where it's like the toxicity is the normality. Let's just get back into the game. It's like, no, bro, I gotta be healthy with you and I gotta be healthy with myself. If you talking to somebody else is affecting me and my whole day and my whole mood, clearly it's not you. I'm the problem. I gotta work on me because you gonna do you before me at the end of the day. Being secure
So
in your position is very important.
so as we wrap it up in our last couple minutes that we have left, when you experience jealousy, how do you address it with your partner? What are some tips or tricks or things that we have to share for the people out there for addressing jealousy, whether it's within yourself or you're seeing it expressed through your partner?
I'm gonna say
Mhm.
for it. I'm gonna say for me, um, um, therapy. For those that are not like that's the broad term. We're pushing it out there now. Therapy. However, if you don't feel like you got the funds and the means, or you don't want to sit on somebody's couch, whenever you feel that, ask yourself why you feel that way.
Mm,
Have that conversation with yourself. It's gonna be hard. It's gonna be ugly. You may even cry a little bit, but have that conversation with yourself and ask yourself, why do you feel jealous? Why do you have that green eye of envy? And ask yourself, where's it coming from? Once you start breaking that down and you start literally let it say unpacking that, then
mhm.
you're gonna get to a better, happier, understandable place. But first you gotta ask yourself that question. That's my take on it.
So for me, when you see something like that, if you angry in the moment or whatever the case may be, that's not the time to even say
Yeah.
anything. And then like he said, ask yourself, why is that bothering you? What it is about what's bothering you. And like he said, yeah, it's a hard thing. It's a hard pill, but once you acknowledge that and deal with that, then you know how to move forward. But when you experience that jealousy feeling or whatever, never express it in that moment of jealousy because it's never going to convey as you trying to solve a problem. It's going to
Right.
it's going to convey as you're adding fuel to the fire, because if the jealousy is coming from insecurity and not from the other person actually doing something to you, then that behavior to the other person is not going to convey the feelings that you feel, and they're not going to understand. And then the
Right.
whole message gets lost. And
Right.
then it never gets addressed. And then that's another pile on from other circumstances, or I mean other situations that has happened and occurred. So, yeah, when you experience that as a person, yeah, have that conversation with yourself first and have that one-on-one with yourself. If you can't do a therapy, some people don't believe in it or whatever,
Right.
or write it down on a piece of paper. Sometimes when you look at the words, it looks somebody told me to do that. I did it and it works. And when you see it on paper, it looks really, really silly.
Because it's
And
Yep.
then it
outside
was
of you.
like,
Yeah. Hmm.
yeah, it's like, really? That's how, like, this makes no sense. When I don't know,
Right.
something about looking at it, it makes it like, ah. And it does. It changed, I don't know for anyone else, but it does make me kind of rethink my perspective because
How about you,
Yeah.
it,
Jordan?
I think for me, it's recognizing one that, and I know people are gonna, this is gonna be controversial, but recognizing that I'm not responsible for other people's emotions, right?
That's not
So
controversial at all.
not at
you don't
all.
think it
Yeah,
is, but there are a
it
lot
is
of people
not.
who feel like it is, right? So while I recognize that I'm not responsible for somebody else's emotions, if I recognize that my partner is having some jealousy rooted behaviors, my natural instinct is to talk with him about it. Hey, I noticed you are doing this, this, and this, and it feels like this, and this, and let's talk about it. Let's process it, right? But also recognizing, like, if I was the person experiencing jealousy, like Aisha said, not trying to approach it, not trying to handle it or deal with it or communicate about it when I'm in my emotional mind, because I'm not my best self at that time. I'm in emotions. There is no logic involved. I'm just all up in the feelings. And so for me, like Aisha said, allowing those emotions to come and go, feeling them, sitting with them, journaling, processing, whatever way you process information, talking to a therapist, talking to a friend, whatever. But then afterwards, going and sharing my understandings, my process with my partner. Hey, this is what I was feeling. When you did this, I felt like this. Because generally there's something that's attached to it. It wasn't just all of a sudden something happened that made you feel jealous. When you did this, it made me feel like this. And it's not a you issue. This is a me issue, but I wanted to share it with you so that if I'm acting some kind of way, you understand why, right? And maybe you can
Right.
help me through this process. Because I think a lot of times people don't even recognize that they're at level 10 jealousy until
Of
you bring
course
it to
not.
their attention. Right.
Of course
And
not. Yeah,
I'm gonna
they
say this for
don't.
men. And I'm gonna say this for men. One of the things that we always say, why didn't you just tell me that right then and there? We need to stop saying that. Because we need to process. They need time to
Mm-hmm.
process their emotions. We need time to process our emotions. And so I used to be that person that's like, why didn't you just say it right then and there? I don't give a damn. No. Now I understand. Now I do it myself. What I process my emotions. I take my time. I step away and I process everything. And then I like, yo, you know what? I was feeling this type of way, but after I did a deep dive with myself, yo, I'm good. I don't need to be like that no more. You know what I'm saying? But I was feeling some type of way. I just want to
Right.
share that with you. You feel me?
And that goes back to what I said about when you're in your feelings. When you're in your feelings, there is no logic, there is no reason. So me bringing it
None.
to your attention when you're in your feelings is just going to start a fight. It's just
Oh
going to
my
stir up
God,
the
I'm so
pot
glad you
and make it
said
worse.
that. I'm so glad you said that because that is facts. That's why it's called in your feelings. There is no logic. There is no you can't put logic into that because we're talking about emotions.
Nope.
And I think for women too, we get very offended. I know, well, I can't speak for everyone, but I I do. And it was like, oh, you're in your little
Oh, I think she might be.
Yeah, I think you breaking
feelings.
up
And
though.
it's like, don't feel like take it to be negative until my recent relationship. Oh, can you
Yes,
Yeah,
you're back on now.
hear me? Okay, I'm back on. Okay.
yeah. We
My
can hear you.
recent
Can you hear
relationship
us?
when he said, okay, now I can hear you. Oh, no, you got,
Nope.
You gotta love it. Hey
I
Aisha,
love the
listen.
internet.
Yeah, you gotta love
I
it.
love the
Hey, listen, we actually went over time.
internet.
No, listen, we
Okay,
actually went
cool.
over time, so we're gonna have you on again. We'll
Part
definitely
two.
do it. We'll do. It seems like we got to do a part two to this. So yeah, we got a couple of people that commented. So guys, don't worry, we're gonna definitely screenshot these. We're gonna basically bring them up and touch bases on them again.
Oh,
Yes.
So
I think it
Aisha,
cut
thank you
out.
so much for coming on. I really do appreciate
Thank
it. I
you.
do, and I'm gonna say this right now. I expect you to come back again, come back on again for part two. Because yeah.
And that brings us to the end of another wonderful episode. And remember, as always, our goal is not to dictate conclusions, not to tell you what to think or to believe, but to encourage self reflection and open, honest dialogue to help us to better understand the world around us, but most importantly, ourselves. So, we invite you to keep the conversation going in the comments, like, share, subscribe so you'll never miss an episode. Then comment below. We'd love to hear your stories, perspectives, ideas, all the wonderful things. Thank you for leaning in and going beyond the sum of our parts. Until next time, bye.
Deuces. See ya.